Welcome back to the channel. With the Golden Week sale in the rearview mirror, don't think for a single second that it's over for deals, because trust me, there's still plenty of great deals to be had, especially with the recent new sales on the eShop. Record of Lodoss War-Deedlit and Wonder Labyrinth is a wonderful Metroidvania that is very much inspired by the classic Castlevania Symphony of the Night game. You can definitely see it in the visual style, the general movement of the lead character, as well as in some of the gameplay mechanics. That said, it does provide some nice twists on the classic gameplay formula, with a heavy emphasis on Deedlit's bow and arrow, not only for general combat, but also for use in solving many puzzles in the labyrinth. Gameplay also revolves around the heavy use of magic in combat and the elemental spirit system that allows you to absorb and pass through certain attacks in combat, as well as deal with traps that you come across in your journey. The game is an absolute indie gem, and one that Metroidvania fans should definitely check out, regardless if they know anything about the Record of Lodoss War franchise or not. It's back on sale at its previous low price of $14.99 until May 30th. DRAINUS is a game that is made by the same developer behind Deedlit and Wonder Labyrinth. Unlike most of Team Ladybug's games, this is a scrolling shooter instead of a Metroidvania or an action platformer game. The main gimmick of this shooter is the reflector that allows you to absorb damage and fire it back at enemies, but also allows you to retain some energy to be used for upgrades for both offense and defense. It's almost like a different take on the Gradius upgrade system. Just like the previous game, the art style is just as slick with its pixel graphics. Definitely check this one out if you love shoot 'em up games, especially ones with a bit of strategy to the gameplay. It's on sale for $13.99 until May 30th. One of my absolute favorite beat-em-up games on the Switch is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. Developed by .emu, it really captures the feel of the classic beat-em-up Turtles games, as well as the famous animated series from the 80s to 90s, and does so by adding some nice modern touches. The combat is fast and fluid, it's easy to pick up and play, just like the games of old, and the ability for 6-player multiplayer is a treat. Usually see 2-player, 3-player, and 4-player options for beat-em-up games, but 6-player makes for a crazy, chaotic, fun time that you just must simply experience. The game is back on sale at $16.74 on the eShop. The Dimension Shell Shock DLC adds a bit more content to the game, with a full-fledged survival mode with new content, battles, and stages made specifically for that, and 2 new playable characters to the roster, and new tracks and color palettes to unlock. It's on sale for $6.79. You can save even more by getting the bundle with the game and DLC for $22.25. Ys Origin is a bit different from other games in the series. It's the first one not to feature the longtime series lead of Adol. Instead, it features brand new characters and a story set 700 years prior to the start of the main series. Even though it is still an action RPG game, like others in the series, the gameplay style is really more reminiscent of hack-and-slash style games, and you'll be mowing through many enemies very quickly, as well as engaging in pretty fast and intense battles. I like the gameplay though, it's very fun, as well as challenging, and some of the boss battles will really test your reflexes. It's a very solid pickup at just $5.99. The Wonder Boy: The Dragon's Trap Remake is an absolutely gorgeous looking game. Beautiful hand-drawn animation and visuals give the classic Sega Master System game a wonderful cartoon look. The original game is one of my personal favorite games for the Sega Master System. It's an early example of a Metroidvania before that ever was a thing. You play as an adventurer who's been turned into a lizard monster. You then go on a quest to find a cure to this curse. Along the way, you get access to other monster forms that will both help you in exploring as well as in combat. I highly recommend this one. It's one of the best remakes out there. It's back on sale at its previous low price, just $5.99 until May 13th. Might and Magic: Class of Heroes was a favorite little game of mine from back in the day. I originally discovered it on the Xbox 360 through the original Xbox Live Arcade service and was really hooked by the puzzle and strategy RPG gameplay. Battles take place across 2 grids, one with enemy troops, another for the player. Players have to move their troops during their turn and place them to defend against attacks, as well as to launch their own. Players also have to pay attention to the colors of troops as well, in order to combine attacks together and such. That's the basic gist of the gameplay, but don't worry, there's a decent amount of strategy to be aware of as you progress, and the game does a good job at introducing new mechanics as you go. The Definitive Edition brings the game into the modern era with a cleaned up full HD presentation, online multiplayer options for both co-op and PvP, and it also includes the original I Am the Boss DLC, which allows you to play as the villains of the game. It's back on sale at $12.59 until May 13th. Vengeful Guardian Moonrider is a 16-bit style action platformer that is inspired by classic action games like Sega's Shinobi series, Koei Tecmo's Ninja Gaiden series, and Konami's Contra games. You play as a ninja warrior as you take on super soldiers as Moonrider goes on a non-stop quest for vengeance. You gotta do some tricky platforming, take on non-stop hordes of enemies, ride on a motorcycle, and take on insane bosses. If you want a game that feels like a thrill ride, then get this game. If you're looking to pick it up, it's on sale in the eShop for $11.04 until May 13th. Infernax is a retro-style action game where every decision you make has consequences. Do you slay or let live? Do you help or ignore? All those choices have an effect on how the game turns out, as well as affects the many game's endings. It's a game that's also quite violent, as you can tell. It's pretty intense and bloody. Between the decisions to make, you gotta take the experience you earn and save the kingdom while navigating through tough dungeons and facing off against challenging bosses. It's on sale for $13.39 until May 13th. Sparklite is a 2D roguelike action-adventure game that definitely has some Zelda vibes, especially when exploring the dungeons. You need to explore 5 procedurally generated biomes and event gadgets to solve puzzles and defeat enemies, while helping the people of Geodia rebuild the refuge. It features some beautiful pixel graphics, a wonderful soundtrack, and co-op gameplay options. If you're hungry for a solid action-adventure game, then this one is worth checking out. It's on sale for $3.74, which is a brand new low price for it on the eShop until May 15th. Wonder Boy Returns Remix is a remake of the first Wonder Boy game, and by that I mean the arcade game. You play as Wonder Boy, a caveman boy who needs to save his girlfriend, Tina, who has been captured by the Dark King, or Dark Lord. You travel through the stages while avoiding or attacking enemies, while also eating food so you do not starve to death. Anyway, the remixed edition features a new anime-style makeover, as well as a new charge shot feature, which allows you to defeat enemies with a giant stone axe. It's simple, easy to pick up and play, and at $3.74, which is a new low price for it, I think it's worth picking up for those who want a new way to enjoy a classic arcade game. Retro City Rampage DX is what I'd imagine GTA would be, you know, if it was on the NES, and filled with a ton of classic game references. In this 8-bit open-world game, you journey back to the 80s and play as the player, a hired henchman that somehow gets thrown into the future, featuring gameplay that is very much inspired by the earlier GTA games. You're going to need to shoot, rob, and blast your way through the city to find your way back to your timeline. It's a treat, filled with lots of humor, and for just $4.49, it's a no-brainer to get on Switch if you haven't yet played the game. By the way, that's a brand new low price for it on the eShop. Shakedown Hawaii acts as a semi-sequel, taking the top-down gameplay and similar open-world style to the 16-bit era. Featuring destructible environments, over 200 accessible buildings, and a bigger map to explore, Shakedown Hawaii is a blast to play, and together with Retro City Rampage, it's a fantastic 1-2 punch for the Switch. These are some of my favorite open-world indie games. This is on sale for $3.99 until May 16th. Tinykin is a really neat take on the Pikmin gameplay concept. You still collect, and guide a group of small creatures, just like you would in the Pikmin games. But in Tinykin, the gameplay isn't really of a strategy game style. No, it's more of a platformer with some mild action-adventure elements. You'll need to work together with the Tinykin and use their abilities to create ladders, bridges, paths, and more to navigate through the different areas as you explore. Along the way, you encounter and interact with other creatures throughout your journey. I like this game a lot. It's a wonderful little game, and I do encourage everyone to check out the demo on the eShop to get a taste of this unique game. If you like the demo and want to pick it up for the Switch, then now is the time. It's on sale at a brand new low price of $12.49 until May 23rd. Rhythm Sprout is a unique rhythm game that has you going on an adventure by stepping and attacking to the beat of the music. It's a game that is easy to pick up and play, but of course as you progress, it'll provide plenty of challenge. Beyond the normal gameplay, there's modifiers to increase the challenge, such as speeding up songs with turbo mode, or by reshuffling notes, or even by playing in mirror mode. Overall, it's a really nice rhythm game for the Switch, and one that has a nice amount of content and replayability even after you beat the main story. It's back on sale, this time at an even lower price than before. It's just $7.49 on the eShop. Craving some haunted tales? Then check out the Coma games on sale. These are 2D, side-scrolling, horror-themed adventure games, where in both cases, they have you exploring a school while trying to survive the twisted horrors that haunt the halls. You're going to need to solve puzzles, piece together clues, all while trying to not get killed. These games are fairly cheap to pick up from the sale. The first game on Switch is on sale for just $1.99, while the second one, Coma 2 vs. Sisters, is on sale for $2.99. At those prices, they're pretty much no-brainers to pick up if you like horror games. In Happy's Humble Burger Farm, you play as a burger flipper who was recently hired to work the night shift at Happy's Place of Delicious Fast Food, aka the Happy Burger Farm. Now, things aren't as simple as it seems on paper. As you upgrade the restaurant and work your happy little job, things will go haywire, such as random fires happening, the power going out, paranormal events. Well, to avoid spoilers, let's just say you're gonna fear for your happy little life. Part restaurant sim, part horror game, Happy's Humble Burger Farm is sure to leave an impression on you. It's on sale at a brand new low price of $4.99 until May 23rd. The Trine games are some pretty fun puzzle platformers. Players swap between characters and use their abilities that are exclusive to each character to solve puzzles and progress through levels. The Trine games do offer multiplayer support in both local and online play. And in multiplayer, each player takes control of a character instead of just one controlling them all. That all aside, these are some really good games with some nice level design and puzzles, and they look good. They definitely do not slouch in the visual department. The Trine Ultimate Collection contains the first 4 games in the series on Switch. It's currently on sale for $11.49, basically less than $3 per game. Rolling Gunner is a really cool horizontal bullet hell shooter that is one of the better shoot-'em-ups on the Switch. The main gimmick of this shooter is the rolling shot mechanic. Basically, the options around your ship can rotate around 360 degrees and shoot in any direction. You can lock it into place in any direction around your ship, so there's a bit of strategy to it, especially as bullets and enemies will come from all directions. There's lots of action in this one, it's a thrill ride, the gameplay is fast and fun, and if you love shoot-'em-ups, then you absolutely need to own this one. It's on sale for $7.99, which is not only a brand new low price for it, it's only the second time it's ever been on sale in the eShop since 2019. In addition, there's DLC, the Overpowered DLC, which basically allows you to play a overpowered version of the game that adds a rechargeable shield in addition to a new shot that can blast through enemy fire. Basically, it allows for a more easier version of the game. The DLC is on sale for the first time ever at $3.99. The Front Mission series by Square Enix kicked things off way back in 1995 on the Super Famicom. Typically, the games in the series are turn-based tactical RPGs. Most of the games feature a wartime setting where characters pilot armored walking machines. These battle armor robots can be decked out with a variety of weapons, gear, and armor, and a lot of the strategy in the games are around outfitting these monsters with the best gear for your mission, as well as using them effectively in battle. Within the last couple years, there's been a push to remake the original games, and the first two are out on Switch. The first one is on sale at a brand new low price of $17.49, while the sequel is on sale for its first decent discount of $27.99. I like the games. I played the originals via translations a long time ago, as they were originally Japanese exclusives, and the remakes pretty much keep the same core gameplay intact. That said, I know that these games aren't everyone's cup of tea. They can be tough. There is a learning curve to them. But once you get a feel for things and get the best out of your builds, I think you'll have a good time. At the very least, give the demos a go. There's one for each one on the eShop. That way you can see if you like them or not. What do you get when you combine manga-style artwork, kaijus, and beat-em-up gameplay? You get a game called Dawn of the Monsters, an awesome game from the wizards at WayForward. Gigantic monsters have invaded Earth, and the Defense Alliance Worldwide Network, aka Dawn, is humanity's only hope for survival. Dawn has their own kaijus to help smash those monsters to bits. In this game, you take control of one of the four monsters, each with their own abilities, and unleash the pain on the invading force throughout 35 plus missions. As you play, you can power them up with DNA augments that you earn to customize your kaiju to your liking. It's a pretty fun game overall. I love the art style, the gameplay mechanics. It's a pretty solid beat 'em up. You get the game now in a bundle that includes the DLC packs. It adds a remixed arcade mode with a new power-up system that is different from the main game, a new playable character, a nightmare difficulty option, and more. It's on sale at a brand new low price of $17.49 on the eShop until May 17th. Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate is the complete version of the game. It contains all the DLC, every character, every mode, update, you name it, it's all there in one package. While there's other versions of the game, if you aim to get it on the Switch without spending an additional dime, this is the way to go for sure. It's only $8.99 too. If you go any other route, you'll be spending a lot more if you want the complete experience. Overcooked All You Can Eat is the best way to play the Overcooked games on the Switch. It contains 1 and 2, as well as all the DLC stuffs, but it also contains new content made exclusively for this bundle. In addition, Overcooked 1 has been reworked, the performance is better for it in this bundle, as well as it adds online play to the first game, which the original release lacks. Of course, Overcooked 2 has online play as well. These are fun multiplayer games that have you working together at a frantic pace in the kitchen to make food and serve your customers while doing things such as dodging cars, putting out fires, and sailing at sea. It gets crazier from one scenario to the next. I love it. It's on sale on the eShop for $15.99 until May 12th.